for the 10th time, I'm presenting for you the 2023 Christmas calendar from KOJRO. And this time we have been looking further into the flip-flops. And we are introducing some synchronous logic into the equation. And we are just continuing off where we left yesterday. So let's get on to the theory of today's lesson. Yes, and this is number 10 in my December Christmas calendar series. And we are stepping it up a notch. And the next step is synchronization. And when you are talking computers, everything that happens inside the computer needs to be synchronized. And what is used to synchronize a computer? Yes, that's the clock signal. And as in a Commodore 64, you can have more than one clock signal, of course, and you can also have things acting on different phases of the clock signal. And the clock signal is a pulse train, as I have described before. It can be synchronized with a pulse width of where the tops and the bottoms are the same, or it can be diversified. And things can happen when it's 1 and when it's 0, but also when the signal is going up and the signal is going down. And that is called flanks on the signal. And this is the symbol for something happened when the signal is transferring up, and this when it's transferring down. And we are not going to use these symbols today. We are going to start kind of slow, I'm thinking, and we are going to expand the circuit we had yesterday. Yesterday we did an SR flip-flop with only 7400 chips, and we are going to continue using the 7400 today. And we are still going to see on an RS or SR flip-flop, and we are going to do it a bit differently. So far everything seems to be about the same as it did yesterday, but then we are doing something different. We are latching these two together, and last time we just did latching them together and using this as an inverter, but here we are going to latch them together and use this as a clock signal. And that means that we have introduced 3 inputs in our circuits opposed to 2 yesterday. 1 set and 1 reset. And the old truth table, it was several ways of putting this together, but what we ended up with was where we represented the signals as such, where we described this as no change, this as 0 when it was reset, and as a 1 when it was set, and this is as illegal or invalid. Sorry for my invalid. I might be able to do better than that. Not sure, but I can try. Yes. So this was the truth table of the circuit we had yesterday, and we are introducing something new. We are introducing the clock, and I'm first going to write up this one. I might be short on space here. I have the clock, I have the S, I have the R, and I have the Q. And I'm just going to write this like so. And when the clock signal is low, it really doesn't matter what happens here, because this locks the output of this. So then we can put in these X's here. That means this input does not matter, and it will be no change. And if I put a 1 on the clock and 0, 0, it will be the same. That will be that situation here. It's a no change. And if I have 1 and 1, 0 on the reset, it will go to a 0. 1 on the clock, 1 on the set, and 0 on the reset, it will go to a 1. And if everything is 1, it will be invalid. And this is the situation that is describing the 5 steps. Because we have simplified this with seeing 0 and XX here, but the real truth table will be this one. And we have the clock, we have the S, we have the R, and we have the Q. And I'm trying to draw this, so we will make space. And the clock can have these 4, and we can have these 4 situations here. And this is the read through table. It's simplified with these X's because I don't need to draw up every situation because this is locking this signal. But the real truth is that this is no change, no change, no change, illegal, or no change really. But it's a legal situation because it can have this up there, so I will just write invalid because that's the norm of the gate, but the clock will really lock this, so it won't be an illegal situation. And we have this here that is no change, and here you have the 0 situation, the 1 situation, and the invalid situation. So this is really the truth table for this gate, but it's simplified here with these X's. But now let's try to couple this up, and we can use our old circuit that we had here. It's still working. It's actually been powered on since yesterday. And what we are going to do here is that we take in front of this circuit here. I just draw the front. This is S, and this is going to be my switch. This is going to be plus 5 volts, and this will actually be like so, grounded. Then I have this as the default position, and I will do the same with this one up here, and it will be the same when it's connected to this, of course, but then it will be in there. And I will also do the same with this one, so we won't have any illegal situations here. And this will be the 2.2K resistors that we have used before. And this clock here I will connect to a push button like I did before, and this will be connected to plus 5 volt like so, or 1 like so. So this will be the input. So the only thing I'm changing, I'm removing the bridge here. I'm adding the resistors. These resistors are already in place, but I'm adding this one. And I'm using the switches from before. That's only hanging in the air like so. And I'm connecting them so that I'm going to have this push button here. So that's what I'm going to start with now. Let's get cracking like so, and then I will be able to see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here, I'm leaving this in place, and here I have 2 bridges that bridging these inputs, and I'm going to remove one of them, and instead I'm going to bridge the 2 other inputs, that is these ones, and this is connected to the push button, and I'm going to use this push button, and I'm going to put that on this one, and I'm going to add this switch here to the first input, this switch here to the second input, and I'm going to remove that one from this push button like so. And then I'm going to add this resistor here. It's going to be connected to ground, I have actually filled up. Now I have one more place here, if I'm carefully. And I'm putting this in the common space like so. And then I have the push button arranged to the common here, and I have this switch connected to the second gate, and I have this switch set to the other gate. So if I'm going to test this now, this is 0, 0, and it should be no change if I push this. If I have a 1 on this one, push, no change. If I have a 1 on this and push, no change. So then we have a fault situation again. I actually have this hanging in the air, and this is the output, so it will always be dark, and my output now is the last gate on this, like so. Then it will be hanging, and I take this one, yeah, so now it's working, and I can take this and put it like so, and I clock it like so. So what I do have here is, this is the set when this is high, and if I put the reset high and both of them high, it will be an illegal situation. It will happen like this. When the clock is down, it will set, otherwise it will just flip. And if I put the reset high and the set, it won't change, but if I set the set high, reset low and push, it will set. So this is a set reset with clock, and this was the clock pulse. So we didn't reach the JK flip-flop today, but we are going to do that one tomorrow, I think. It's quite similar to this, but it's the gate that is actually used in these kind of situations. Yes, and I hope you learned something today. Today it was about making and introducing the clock into the sequential logic, and the clock is an essential thing for everything that is using microprocessors and stuff and buses and so on. So this is a very important step to get hold on before you continue with logic. And tomorrow we are going to introduce the JK flip-flop. It's a small improvement from the one we showed today, but this is actually the standard that is implemented in TTL logic, and we are going to see on a standard gate that has this logic implemented. So hope you enjoyed the content, and see you again tomorrow.